Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Welcome to Roundabout Cast, Haikyuu edition. I don't have a name for this show, but I got
IQ.
Haikyuu conversation.
You have to have a high. You have to have a high Q to talk about Haikyuu.
To be fair,
To be fair,
this will probably be kind of a running show thing because Joe's getting into Haikyuu, and it's pretty long, so there's a lot of content there.
It's pretty long. The only difference is that, unlike some other people, I will blaze through written word faster than a fire goes through a forest.
Shots fired. But actually, I just okay. So our history with Haikyuu is, I read the manga. I'm almost caught up. I'm in the final arc. Tyler watches the anime. So what happens when Joe laps Tyler?
We can Tyler reads.
I guess the
big
show's over.
sad because this anime is really good.
Yeah, Tyler, the anime for Haikyuu is really good, and I don't blame Tyler at all for waiting on it.
Ain't a sports anime ever showed me wrong.
It's true. Sports is a fire genre.
It is a fire genre, as I learned with the first 4 volumes of Haikyuu. But we're not talking about the first 4 volumes. We'll be talking about maybe the first 2. I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
I've never read a sports manga or anime or anything ever.
Okay.
Just as a basis to give background on this. However, my sister was a volleyball player for about 16 years.
Oh.
And I would help her practice every once in a while. Not a lot, but like I come in with Haikyuu with a little bit of a good knowledge of how volleyball works.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. The only thing I don't understand still is the rotation system, which will come in later.
You know, to this day, I'm not quite sure because, the libero can rotate mid-match. I need to reread how that works.
Yeah, that's fine. So, in volleyball, you have a number of substitutions you can do, but the libero can be freely substituted in and out as many times as you want.
But,
Please, no. Libero.
No, okay, so Tyler's right, actually, if you're going with the Spanish pronunciation or Latin, I don't know.
Yeah.
But everyone calls it a libero here.
Yeah, and Tejas.
So this will be our Rouge Town.
Yeah, my sister was a libero. Fun fact.
Yeah. Nice.
Nope, I can't stand for this. Click that link and fix yourselves. Libero.
Okay, hold on. Let's play it. How do I?
Libero.
The American pronunciation.
Libero.
So that's in the recording, so they can hear it too. Libero.
Yes.
But you forget, this is Tejas. We're in a place called Llano, Texas, that's spelled like Yano, like
Yano.
name. Yano.
So the British pronunciation is libero.
Yeah.
But they do this libero. And they really drop their jaws when they say it. Libero.
I don't think that's true.
Ew.
Anyways, we'll
But
talk
nobody-
about the libero whenever he shows up.
Yeah.
But for now, Joe,
I like
keep going with your introduction.
But yeah, I chose to read Haikyuu over watch Haikyuu, even though I know the anime is fantastic, because I will go through manga faster than anime because anime requires my complete attention.
Yeah.
Whereas with manga, I can read it in chunks or put it down and pick it back up whenever I want to, or sit in with music playing or whatever.
Well, I think Haikyuu art style wise is really good, and I think there's a lot of cool stylistic decisions that I want to bring up whenever we get to those points.
Yeah.
So when we get to the point about the rotation system, I played a lot of volleyball growing up.
Okay.
And I went to a lot of volleyball games because both my cousins played.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. So, chapter 1. We get first page of every manga, extremely important. Does a nice. It kind of sets you up that about just keeping the ball in the air, keeping things together, as well as like height being a key theme or factor in this manga. A tall wall, as it's stated. But yeah, endings and beginnings. So we're kind of introduced to Hinata. We're introduced to Hinata, and he immediately has this goal of becoming incredibly good at volleyball. And the biggest thing that holds him back is his height. So you already have this protagonist that's fighting an uphill battle with what he's been gifted with as a person.
Name a more relatable issue.
Yeah.
maybe for some more than others.
So after this like brief kind of little flashback we have for this one page with Hinata looking at the little giant becomes his idol that we don't even know the name of. Fun fact, by the way, I don't want to know if we figure out who this person is or anything like at all.
Okay,
like,
well, I have answers to these questions.
I don't want to know the answers to those questions.
Cool.
So one thing immediately is the way that this guy, I forget what his name is. I don't know the name of the author of the manga.
Oh, it's Fururate, or is it Furudate? I want to say it's Furudate.
The way that he draws a spike is awesome.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I wanted to mention. The impact of the spikes and those harsh lines as they're flying, I think it just makes it feel good. It's something that I think it does better than the anime.
Yeah, I'm just now seeing the manga for the first time. That is a great visual representation, and I've always loved the spikes in the anime.
Yeah,
like they're still not bad.
But having the impact in line, there's just something so cool about that aesthetic.
Well, look at this first panel. This is the first ever spike we see in the game in this comic.
Yeah.
Or this manga, whatever you want to say. You have the initial line of the swing of the hand here.
Yeah.
And you have it intersect where the after image of the ball with the hit explosion in the direction the ball is going.
And then you can also see the exact angle it bounces off as a result.
Right.
You know what? Some of the moments in the anime do that. Like some of the spikes that we get that point of view from, we will see that line, and you get to see like it hit, and then it like flies off into the distance.
That's cool.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I also like that this fly is chasing the ball. It's not connected to the ball. So the ball is almost outspeeding itself here when it gets hit.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool way of showing just how fast that ball is traveling. Also, this arc of the swing just shows you how much force, and like rotation, someone has to go when they swing their hand for this thing.
It's interesting that we see this so early because we could mention this basically for every swing for the rest of the manga, and it would be true.
Yeah, but this is a perfect example. It kind of just showcases that technique of how he exhibits the ball being hit.
Yeah. And
so we have Hinata. So this is like a local junior high tournament for clubs.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because Japan's like education system is so structurally different than our education system, because like the school doesn't have, I guess, funding or absolute funding for like a sports program compared to like Texas or other like school systems, because in like our high school, middle school systems, like it's put in the budget to have a volleyball team or a football team or so on and so forth, right? So it's interesting to me, or it's very different to me, to like that Hinata has to like basically with his own bare hands like scavenge his like team together just compete in this tournament. Like he has no help from his school basically.
And I like how we find out later that he had to scavenge for people. Like he had to get all his friends in there, and they kind of reluctantly go along.
Yeah. So this is his first ever like game as well, or tournament game, anything like actual like against other people that weren't at his school, full team and everything. Here we're introduced to Tobio, king of the court.
Yeah.
Big mean boy, big scary boy,
big quiet boy.
Big quiet boy too. And there's some great kind of like just comedic moments that just show Hinata's enthusiasm building up to this match that they're going to have. And we're immediately just shown What's up?
This starts a very long chain of people going to the bathroom and running into god tier players.
It is a constant running joke.
It is such a running joke.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
it's great. Go ahead.
No, go. I was just gonna. I'm sure, like, even in the 4 volumes you've read, I guarantee you, there's been 3 moments, and you just haven't noticed it happens all the
Probably.
time.
It's just funny because, like, during sports tournaments and track meets, it's like
Yeah.
you see everybody in the bathroom. Like, there are always 8 people in the bathroom.
It's true. It's fun to capture that.
So the Tobio has this moment here, where these guys are shit talking Hinata, and he kind of tells them to back off because they're not even playing on the team. So you can just initially Tobio has this kind of respect for anybody that's actually playing volleyball, and it has this. There's definitely like this. It's kind of that classic, like, you're not on the team, you don't understand what's happening, you shouldn't be disrespecting people you haven't even met kind of deal coming from him. And then he has this interesting line saying, "Not giving up is easier said than done." Which is interesting. I think because he's kind of right, where, like, there comes to a point when you're playing a sports game and you get absolutely smashed, and you're just like, your brain just checks out, and you're just done. You're out of it. You can't, like, you lose your will to continue playing that game just because of how badly you're getting beaten, which happens here, where Hinata gets caught up in this game, and he's just so badly beaten, but he just keeps on going on and on and on during the whole game.
It's easier said than done because all the effort and time you put into it, it's hard to just throw that away from one loss.
Yeah, or like it just gets taken away from you entirely. So we got some good. We go run through some basics of volleyball. Like, you get 3 chances to you have to hit the ball 3 times. Any more than that, you're done. Man, this is a long chapter because it's the first one.
Yeah.
So we finally start the game, and Hinata is fast.
That's his thing.
He is. That is his thing. He's a speedy little boy. He saw, like, we go back to this flashback again, and he talks about how he saw this little giant on television, and he played a bunch of sports, but, like, as soon as he saw that this guy can surpass people who are taller than him, he's like, I want to do that too. And we go through this whole kind of backstory about him, like, gathering a team, getting people together, sneaking in time to practice volleyball whenever he can.
Yeah, it's really wholesome, his practice. Ooh, and then his first spike just gets completely blocked.
Yeah.
That looks great.
I think in the anime happens, like, super quick. If I remember, I've seen, like, maybe half the first episode of the anime. But I like going back to the shot line once again. The initial impact, where the ball impacted the hands and where it lands on the ground, just really, really cool.
Yeah,
I think. I love, so just looking at this page, the speed lines this guy draws on these jumps are awesome.
What I think the anime does that too, where, like, it's like wind pressure whenever Hinata is jumping.
Yeah.
It's like it shows him impact on the ground, and it's like, and then he, like, leaps off.
Yeah, you can see it right here too. It's kind of great. So he immediately gets blocked. So this is what I really, really, really like about this game, is that Hinata gets bodied in terms of, like, his players. Like, there isn't, like, comeback victory. It's not like a magical kind of moment. It's Hinata's at square one when it comes to playing this game. Like, he's had no experience whatsoever playing this game. But goddamn, does this guy know how to draw determination on someone's face? Like, you can feel it. Like, you just see him diving and rolling over trying to get these balls. It makes you really want to cheer for him, as much as that he's, like, how hard that he's trying, and, like, how futile this attempt is.
Yeah.
And you have this great shot here. It's like, we haven't lost yet, and I'm just, spooky.
Yeah, Animal Eye Hinata is a creepy version of Hinata, where,
Yeah,
where he's super focused.
it's this weird. It's like this sense of determination that you just get from this one panel. That you're just like, this kid's not going to give up ever.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like I think that's one thing that I really liked about this in my read through so far is that these expressions that people have are they're conveyed so well just through the way that they look. Like this guy freezes up and he realizes that he's in it for the long haul now, and Tobio's just shocked about what's happening. But yeah, this whole first chapter, it's just basically it just shows how much determination Hinata has. And then we get this fucking two spread that I love, and I wish I did get that break in that middle there.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but that's so good.
Yeah.
Like the way that he just
It's good art, man.
Yeah, it's some great art. A single blink. Boom.
God damn.
Yeah, it's the way that he uses the black just to like showcase how fast something it looks like a sun is like literally zooming past this guy. It's kind of awesome.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Just the way that the shadows are done.
Mm-hmm.
It just and then unfortunately that's the spike that lost in the game.
Nice going, kid.
Oops. The game's over, or the match, whatever way you want to put it. Hinata is eliminated from the tournament. And Tobio realizes that this kid has some exceptional talent. It's like, what have you been doing for 3 years? And we get this somber moment. It's like 31 minutes. That's all I got. That's all I got on the court.
Yeah.
And then and it's kind of like it goes back to that heartbreaking feeling that you said, where it's like I spent 3 years trying to play this game and I only got 31 minutes of playtime. And that comes up again later with one of the other characters in the second game, in the game against the Cats, which is much further along.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be an interesting theme and thought to have as like this series continues. And so at this point, Hinata says that he's going to get better and he's going to beat Tobio one day at volleyball.
And thus sets the stage of
for
a very epic story.
Yes, for a great rivalry that will for sure happen one day, except they're now on the same volleyball team. Yeah! I really like this. I thought this was a great setup for this first volume. That we have these, because in addition, like as we've come to see throughout this volume, these two people are diametrically opposed of like, I think of like the way that they think about volleyball.
Yeah. Their personalities in general as well.
Yeah. But they work so well together because they are the perfect like combo duo to have on a volleyball team, as that gets explored in this volume.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of chapter 1. Kind of spread through that one just because a lot of it is just setting up character motivations and just characters in general. And I feel like the more maybe the stuff comes much later in the volume and like what's happening. But yeah. So chapter 2 happens. This is Kuratsuno High School Volleyball Club.
Ooh, this will be a fun time. Joe saying Japanese names for many volumes.
So once again they're having this conflict. And then Tobio reveals that he got rejected from the highest rated volleyball school.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting when I was reading it, because it's like he was king of the court back in middle school. That's what everyone called him. So
you find out that that's not a good name to have necessarily.
No, it's not. So it was kind of a weird like shock to me, and maybe want to know what exactly happened with him, which I thought was a great kind of like little mystery box tangent line you have. rejected? You're the king of the court. And then he gets very angry boy. And then we're introduced to our 3 seniors.
Well, no, we're introduced to 2 seniors in a second
2
year.
seniors, second year. Yeah,
but they're all good boys.
they are all good boys. We have
Sugawara,
Shawarma,
Tanaka, and Daichi.
Daichi. Yes, Sugawara, Daichi, and Tanaka. Daichi being the captain, Tanaka being the second year, and Sugawara being the setter and vice captain. Which we find out is kind of like a weird point of conflict between Sugawara and Tobio, because Tobio is also a setter.
Yes. And I'm glad that they explored that in the story.
Yeah. It's interesting to see, and like that happens more later, but so far the author is setting up all these very good like dramatic points within the setting of the team without actually like explicitly like stating them.
He's setting up drama and plot points for the future.
He knows that like he's just putting pieces in place, but he's not like making you like go like, oh, because this person can't do this until like much later when it becomes an issue. So they introduce themselves and they kind of go over the fact, and they're kind of shocked that Hinata wants to join because he's so small, and even more shocked that he wants to be the ace. I think at this time there's only 3 on the volleyball team at this moment that's not newcomers, because the other 2 are out.
Yeah, I forgot that Nishinoya is also out at the beginning.
Yeah, he's suspended.
Right. I forgot why. Okay.
He broke a broom.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! It was the dumbest thing ever.
And then we get introduced as this fucking vice principal who is the biggest worm in existence. Like he he comes in and sees what's up while they're doing the volleyball practice. And well, before we get to that, this guy's a worm. This vice principal. Yep. He's the biggest ever. But yeah, like this whole leading up right now, they're just having this whole conversation about what the roles are and what they want to do and everything. The vice principal comes in because they're just being very loud. And then at this point, Hinata challenges Tobio to serve, and so he can, I think if I remember correctly, to receive the ball. Yeah, he wants to receive the ball. And prove to him that he's been practicing this entire time, even though it hasn't been much. His receiving is garbage. It's doo-doo caca.
Hinata definitely starts as a one-trick pony here, which reminds me of Kuroko Basket, Tyler, where Kuroko has a very singular skill set. I'd say Hinata's not quite as bad, but
I don't know.
He's really not, and I like the evolution of Hinata a lot more than Kuroko.
Mm. But Kuroko is such a one-trick pony that when he does pull out other stuff, it's like, whoa, you can shoot a basket now? Crazy.
I mean, Hinata gets there a little bit.
Yeah, Hinata has some real big improvements in his sets as well.
Even like in the first like few volumes, there were some great improvements. But the lines here, this intensity that the author draws on Tobio and Hinata is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just love the way that he hits this ball and the way that he gets back up, and just the dark shading on it.
I'll say the art style actually has changed quite a bit now that I look back on it.
Damn.
Was it worse or better?
I don't think he does as harsh shading anymore, but all the character models are so much cleaner, as is the paneling. I mean, we'll see as it goes on.
So they're having this competition, and Hinata is trying to prove they can receive, and then this vice principal gets hit in the face with a ball.
Good,
great. This guy's a weenie.
It lands on.
He walks into a volleyball court and gets hit by a ball. That's like walking in front of a pitcher. It's like walking onto a football field and getting upset that a football player hit you as they were running by. Like, it's just kind of dumb. And we get a little bit more insight here that the current volleyball club is just actually falling apart and not in its glory days anymore.
Yeah.
So we have that very basic setup of like, oh, we were once good, but now we're bad.
Right,
or
because
not as
we find out that the little giant played for Karasuno, right?
yeah, that's why Hinata wanted to come here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his main driving reason to be here. So that's another thing that it's a good divide between Tobio and Hinata is that Tobio is almost there out of like
Rejection.
yeah,
Yeah.
rejection as like a second or third choice, whereas Hinata is there because he wants to be there. Like this is where he wanted to be because he's inspired to be there.
Yeah.
They have different motivations to be there entirely. They're both there to play volleyball, but the reason why is completely different. And it said like, yeah, we're gonna be good again. And it's like, sweet, let's do it. Let's be good again. But before we can be good again, you all have to work together. And he kicks them out of the gym and tells them they have to show that they have to be teammates in order to actually be on the volleyball team.
Quite the captain move.
Quite
Man.
the captain move.
Man, the wind blows so much in this show.
Yeah.
There's like wind all the time.
Yeah, there's even crow feathers.
To be fair, they're
Well, that-
outside.
Yeah, but like the whoosh, like as he opens the door and closes it and everything.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
moving like jet turbines up in here.
Everyone's,
They just have those giant fans everywhere.
He
We
not
just
the
never
goes,
get to see them.
So really this chapter sets up what the volume is going to really be about, which is the relationship between Hinata and Tobio and them kind of learning to deal with each other while they're playing volleyball. And then at the end we get our stand stats for our teammates.
Except these seem right, actually. for
Yeah,
Hinata.
these make sense. Yeah,
Damn, 1 power. It's pretty weak,
damn.
actually. Surprisingly.
yeah. Big scrub. He likes eggs over rice too. All right. So leaving where we left off, they're like, "No, you can't come in." And then they have this whole conversation, about trying to prove themselves, about being teammates and what to do. And Tobio comes up with like, "Well, we'll challenge them to a volleyball game." And I was like, "That's kind of silly and dumb." And then on the inside, we get the same kind of reaction. It's like, "That's silly and dumb." They come in and kick down the door and do that. We have this, but Hinata, like, he kind of reinforces his decision to be here because he wants to be the star of the show. And so he's almost joining volleyball for a very selfish reason of like, of being the person that everyone can see. And this is also the point where we get like the different motivations and desire for like the position that they are or want to be at. Where Hinata wants to be the ace because that's the person that scores points and is the one that everyone relies on. That's who he wants to be. Whereas Tobio is the setter because that's the person that sets everyone up and once is like kind of like the thing that everything gravitates, like circulates around on the team. Which I thought was interesting, and that becomes up later when we are introduced to more and more teammates as to why they're in that position, why they like being in that position. I like to equivalent to it as like a MOBA game, as like, why do you play support? Why do you play mid?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever you have a role-based anything, I think everyone has simple or complex reasons why they like playing that particular role. You know?
Yeah,
and it definitely translates into sports anime where you can make entire backstories and character arcs based on their positions.
Yeah, and I think I really like that the author is like bringing that up. And is it just like, oh, this is this person, this is what they do, and it feels it really fleshes out the character as to like they chose that position because they want to do it because of XYZ.
Yeah.
So they had this heart-to-heart talk, and they keep bringing up this heartbreaking loss that Tobio's old middle school had, which I think was in the same tournament that he played against Hinata for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes back to his came back story later. Once again, like they're like, oh, they'll just do the basic anime move where they'll come in and challenge us to a game. And I like this little moment here where they time out, like they count to 3 when they're going to say what they're saying. I thought it was very cute.
How?
Where they're like,
if you talk in the same time, you're teammates. So
yeah, that's kind of funny about it. Is that like you're kind of proving your point or proving what you need to do, just doing that by itself. But it's also just kind of cute where they're standing outside this gymnasium door and like don't mess it up.
Yeah,
And they're counting underneath their breath.
Fun facts. They're both idiots.
yeah,
They are.
This is your first hint that Kageyama is just another version of an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh man, we haven't been introduced to the 2 best characters yet either.
No, they show your 2 favorite characters, which is Glasses Boy. I forget what his name is, but he'll show up. I think Tsukishima.
The god.
Yeah. So Daichi, the captain, says like, "All right, we'll do it. If you lose, we'll take whatever punishment you throw at us." It's like, okay, we'll do 3-on-3, and you'll go up against the other first years that are also joining us. They agree. Tobio, very much like Hinata, announces that he is a setter. Like that is his job. Like that's what he wants to be. And it goes back to what you said, that like they're both idiots, but they both have the same drive of who they want to be and who they want, what position they want to do on their team. And then Hinata goes into his whole spiel about a setter and how a setter is the person that sets everyone up, is like the focus around the strategies, the one that can determine what they can do, the playmaker, the shot caller almost. And I think it's really interesting here because this is a very support like role on the volleyball team. Like it's not the person that scores points, it's the person that sets everyone up to score points.
Yeah.
Hint setter. And that conflicts with the image that he's given of the guy that does everything. Like you can't be both things, which I thought was interesting to have this character that wants to do everything, wants to be in that setter role.
I mean, in a certain sense, you can though, because he's the control tower. I think that's a terminology they even use for setters. And nothing happens without him. So he's both the star of the show and the support. So basically, he's me playing Nami.
Yeah. Get that wave going. And they also previously they said they were gonna get Tanaka on their team, who is a wing spiker, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a middle blocker. Yeah, he's a wing spiker. And Tanaka, being the nice upperclassman that he is, secretly tells them when to meet up at night or in the morning to practice their volleyball game.
Mm-hmm.
They show up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is something I could never do.
Oh, and dude, fucking 2-a-days in football, we would get there at like 4:30 a.m. in the morning.
I think the earliest I ever got was like 5:30 for a 6 o'clock practice.
Cross country, 5 a.m.
Yeah, see, like that's just sports, bro.
6 a.m.
Oh.
I know. I probably did it way back when, but like Jesus, I couldn't do that now if I tried.
It's dismal.
Very excited. Hinata needs to be an emoji. And then Daichi, we get some little background knowledge about Daichi talking about the 2 of them, and he said that he saw both of them played. That his whole plan is to basically make them a unit that work together. So it's basically he sets it up in the beginning to have them start working together early. So in the long run, that's what their whole team's almost based around. There's natural speed and reflexes and incredible jumps.
Yeah.
I love these like great character shots that this guy draws. These are so cool. Just the way that he shades them.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the shading gets pretty different. Wow, look at these fucking start platinum stats.
I know. Look at this boy.
What a
No.
unit.
The intelligence parameter on the scale refers solely to intelligence in regards to the game of volleyball. Okay.
Wow, Tobio's busted. His speed is almost like that's not fair.
Yeah, no, like what the fuck? It's just as much stamina as what's his name? Hinata.
These stats need to be nerfed to adjust for a proper manga experience. Joe, if we can make a mid-podcast adjustment, I'll probably cut this out. So we're like almost 40 minutes in, and we're 3 chapters in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to Bradley you where we should not do the plot beat by beat. We should highlight your highlight moments of the chapter so we can move smoothly. Yeah. So in the
I'm
future,
trying to figure out...
I know you can't bookmark stuff, but maybe you can. You could take screenshots of pages you want to talk about in the future, maybe.
Yeah. So like, yeah, let's move along to that then, because most of this is just them practicing the entire time and talking about how to practice and everything.
Yeah.
So just going through this 3rd chapter, we get a lot of cool speedline action shots of them practicing.
We get a lot of Hinata just being the most hardworking little man.
Yeah, Hinata is like learning how to like basically play defense at this point. As we learn throughout the series, is he sucks at defense. Yeah. Like that is his biggest weakness. Look
at his fucking arm with 3 R's.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa!
Jesus.
Looking like like the next Smash Bros character up in here. Wow, what a shot!
Supposedly.
I mean, they confirmed.
I mean, where's it at?
Yeah, this chapter is them once again practicing and playing, spiking the ball. God, it's a great shot.
They realize there's synergy here at the end. It looks like
yeah,
even they become aware. It's like, oh, we're actually a good combo.
We used to be the greatest enemies, but now we're the greatest teammates. Which is kind of strange to say, because Hinata has only seen Tobio one other time playing volleyball.
Maybe, I mean, that's in Hinata's mind. It's like, to me, you were my biggest rival. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. He's Thanosing him.
Yeah. But that's Sugawara saying that.
Oh. No, if we used to be the greatest enemies, then now we're the greatest team. No, it's not Sugawara saying that. Joe, do you even know how to read mangos?
No, I don't. Well, this panel here, he's saying it.
In quotation marks, which is Hinata thinking of something Sugawara said once upon a time.
Yeah.
Oh, these are unfair stats for Tanaka.
You think so?
Based on what I know he can do, I think they deserve to be a little higher. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah. He's definitely got better jump.
Tanaka's a beast.
I also like this character, Tanaka. I think his personality doesn't really come out until like the later volumes.
I don't think.
But he's like the kid.
I don't think he had his personality really ironed out until around where Nishinoya shows up, and they could be both assholes together.
I'm glad this is probably an anime perk, as you really get Tanaka's personality from the get-go.
Yeah.
Buzzed head, yelling all the time, just like Hinata.
Voice acting would help a lot for Tanaka in particular, I think.
Yeah, I agree. We have something that I've never seen in a manga happen before, where someone quotes. I don't know that person though. We get a quote from outside the world, Brazilian men's volleyball team. Willer.
Yeah, well, Brazil's big into volleyball. And you'll see a lot of references to Italian and Brazilian players in this, and just all sorts of nationals men's basketball. Never the U.S. because we just don't care about it, I guess. As far as men,
we don't care about men's. Don't care about men's volleyball. But the quote says the volleyball player is not not soloist, but a member of an orchestra. When the player begins to think, "I am special," that player is finished. Ooh. Which is a great quote, because I believe this chapter is dedicated to like why he's called the king of the court.
Yeah.
About that tyranny.
Cool art.
Very cool art. You look awfully sleepy. Yeah, so this chapter primarily deals with Tobio's just like why he was called that, and you kind of learn that he just and then we have Willer's favorites show up.
Oh, hey,
this point,
Yeah.
Well, they're two of my favorites because Tsukishima and Yamaguchi are both. Is that his name? Yamaguchi, I think so.
Do they have nameplates later? It doesn't look like it. This guy in the background, Yamaguchi, he doesn't get a lot of screen time right now.
No, he doesn't, and that's by design, I think.
Yeah, this guy, this is his big prominent moment right now when he's picking on the two of them. But then he kind of takes a step back for a little bit, but he still throws in that snide remark every once in a while, and kind of
I've played sports and have gone to high schools with this fucker,
yeah,
this just dry asshole.
Yeah.
And then his little lackey, which is Yamaguchi.
Yeah. People call them bullies. But they're super tall.
They're more just losers who take it out on everyone, because I don't think Tsukishima is particularly cool anywhere.
Nah, he's not. He's just happy to be 6'2".
Yeah.
Which is a
I
huge
wonder
advantage.
what that's like.
Yeah, I know, right? But Tsukishima kind of explains here why he's called King of the Court.
Yeah.
And we go into real depth about how Tobio is kind of afraid. I believe he's afraid of setting people up because of just that abandonment. He has this almost abandonment complex from his previous team, that he'll scare them away, or that he will just I don't want to say overshadow him, but he will outpace his team, and then when he's outpaced everyone, there's no one to play volleyball with, essentially.
Yeah.
He's afraid that he'll literally just scare everyone away and want to play with him. Yeah, Kai Tsukishima and Tadashi Yamaguchi. That's their name. And then we're on to the 3-on-3 game. We get introduced to their lady manager.
Yeah, Kyoko,
which everyone just adores over.
I mean, she got a fire design.
She do. She is a looker.
There's some Tanaka.
Yeah, look at him go.
I'm a punk.
He's very much like Ryuji in this manga.
Yeah, he gives me Ryuji vibes from Persona 5.
He's a lovable thug that's on the team. He's brash and he wants to start fights, but he's always there to back you up. All right, and then that's actually the start of the 3-on-3 game, and we get our club captain stats.
Okay, so there's not a stat on here where I think he would have been a 5-in.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you've gotten to his specialty. His specialty is defense. At least among the team, he's the defensive core of Karasuno.
That's not the libero or libero.
It is the
Well, the libero's gone.
Yeah, I think Daichi is the more stable. Nishinoya is the freak, flashy, gonna make the big ball plays, but Daichi's your strong core of the defense.
Daichi's your Mario.
Yeah. He's got a good move set. You can always count on him.
Mm-hmm. So the game starts, and immediately this 6'2" fucker is blocking everything. Just once again, Hinata brings up that tall wall. So this is kind of a good starting point where Hinata is oh, this is legitimately a big hill I have to climb when it comes to playing this sport.
On top of impact lines, which look great here, I think this is the point where I bring up hands, because hands are probably the most indicative thing of Haikyuu's art style. They get elongated, and they get perspective shifted to always be big and imposing. And even the anime does it too. I've seen.
Really?
They're just these looming threats, and they'll become more and more apparent throughout the series.
Some hands aren't even hands; they're physical representations.
Yeah.
Like some people don't even get to be humans, and like they just turn into like brick walls.
Yeah. We get real shonen sports anime in here.
Oh, I'm sure. Stuffed again. I have other ways to beat you. King is so now they're trying to adjust themselves. King is going for those lob attacks from the backfield. And let's see what else is happening here. Self-center team. We get some flashbacks now to that final match that he lost. I love this imagery of the divide on the court here. That he has isolated himself entirely from his team.
Yeah, it's a divide he thinks he's created.
Yeah. And he gets benched for it because even the coach realizes, like, oh, he's literally forcing players to play at a league or a speed that they cannot match. It's setting up a standard that's way too high for people.
This line here where the idea that no one will be there when I put the ball up scares me to the bottom of my soul. I think that's like... That might be the most important line for Kageyama in this volume because it's like, oh, that's why you work so well with Hinata because no matter what, Hinata will be there when you put the ball up. So he's perfect for you.
Yeah. So, it's interesting to say that because they eventually had to adopt tactic of, no, you're right, because eventually he just puts it up there and Hinata will go to it.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. So we get this shot of once again back of Hinata saying I'm here and reinforcing that he is going to be there for Tobio this entire time. Kageyama, whatever you want to say. Whenever you get the ball, send it to me. Like he's just like I'm always there. Whenever I get it.
Oh. Wait, you missed their first spike synergy.
Right here?
Hinata epically misses.
Yeah.
It's like this epic build-up, and it's like, whoosh.
It gets a little big.
It got over the net. It scored. It scored.
Still, not quite what he was expecting.
Yeah. It's a point. There's a great line later that's a point to point, regardless of who says it.
Oh man, Sugawara, unblessed.
How's this boy on the team?
By just being there. I think his intelligence should be higher for what he provides, but
he's aight. He does good.
He's a realistic high schooler, like good player, but we're dealing with like shonen powerful like superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is 7. This is the last chapter of the volume. I'm here.
Which is a continuation of the match, basically.
Yeah. Basically. They keep going. This guy, just once again, some people just aren't cut out for some things. And I love this panel of Tanaka about to literally kill somebody.
Oh, man. I think we're really starting to get to the beauty of all the character interactions right now because, like, that's kind of what Haikyuu's all about, all these little interactions here and there. Like, we can't possibly call them all out on this podcast, but we should definitely pay attention to some of the highlight ones.
This is one of my favorites because it's once again like we were just getting introduced to Tanaka, and this one panel says so much about who he is. And I think this is Daichi back here, correct?
That is Daichi.
Yeah, and he's just like stop. Like he reaches through the net. One thing, and so Hinata says this one thing, so I can stay out on the court as long as I can. That goes back to what we were saying before about the 31 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's all that he had to play. So that's definitely like a strong theme that's like you only have so much time to play this game. You have to keep it going as long as you can.
Hold on to that emotion because like there are some deep-rooted character plot lines based around like the play time and the limited time of a game.
Yeah. And it's really important in volleyball too, because volleyball, it's all about maintaining that rally as long as you can until the other team fails.
Yeah.
Essentially at rallying. So it's a good, nice parallel between the theme of like you only have so much time to be in the spotlight or have your golden moment compared to like volleyball where it's all about keeping it in the air as long as you possibly can. Other than flying, which is just a sense of freedom for Hinata. Breaking down walls. So then we have Tobio follow up with breaking down the walls so the hitters can get through. That's what setters are for. So now Tobio is like going all in. It's like, all right, we're gonna do this. You're gonna be my tool. We're gonna get past these blockers. And he's just gun ho about using Hinata this time. Because earlier, we didn't mention it before, but Kageyama was basically going to just rely on Tanaka the entire time.
Yeah.
That was his original plan. And now this is the turning point now where Kageyama is going to be like, all right, no, this is my guy. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to go around, which is fantastic. And we get this wonderful montage of them trying to spike the ball and failing. They realize that the problem here is the setting, and now we have to do a flip almost, where originally Hinata said that he is going to be the one that's always going to be there, but now Kageyama has to be like, no, I have to put it where he is going to be or where he is going, and focus my strategy around where he is rather where I want to put it.
Yeah, which is a cool inversion of their original plan there.
Yeah. So he has to just rely. So this is an interesting point where he has to just rely on his athleticism throughout the duration of this match. And this is a great moment for Kageyama because now he has to rely on his teammates rather than his teammates rely on him.
Yeah, very, very effortlessly we've put him in an uncomfortable situation that is kind of challenging the person who he was in the past. And it doesn't even seem like such a big deal to him. Like, it's just in the moment right now, the only way we can win is if I get the ball into Hinata's hands.
Yeah. And that's the end of Volume 1.
Woo!
So, yeah.
How'd you like that first volume, Joe?
Oh, man. If I went out and just was like, I'm going to buy the first volume of Haikyuu and see how I like it, and I got to see that volume, I'd be pissed.
I'd be buying that second volume.
I would be.
Is this your first, like, sports shonen manga?
Yeah,
anime?
I said that at the beginning. Oh. Like, I've never read a single shonen sports manga at all.
Oh, it's gonna be his favorite.
This is there's a wide world out there of really good, because like all it is it's a battle shonen, but the fighting has rules and the rules are sports rules, but it still has the battle shonen superpowers, and that's just sports manga and anime. It's great.
Also, you can't really break those rules as casually as in other battle shonens, where it's like, oh, that person can do that now. Everyone can go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, no, the net will never not be there, guys. Like
yeah,
you gotta go over it.
That line is still out of bounds.
Yeah, it's nice. You get to see all the power progression and character development therein, but confined within the rules of a sport.
Yeah.
I realize now that the anime has great pacing with the manga.
Yeah, what would we be at right now? At the
this is the first 4 chapters we did.
No, this is now we're at 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at 8.
The first 4 episodes is when they finally get like the perfect attack down,
which would be next volume, I think.
And then the 5th episode is
the end of the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the game and like after.
It's amazing what happens when you don't do an episode of an anime every week and just kill your pacing. Like seasonal anime.
They're on hiatus.
Yeah.
That's not gonna change anything.
That applies to everyone. That applies to Black Clover has this issue. My Hero does not have this issue because it works on seasons like other things should.
Black Clover deserves this issue.
Black Clover deserves nothing.
I still read Black Clover every week. They deserve.
I mean, I gotta know what happens to Asta. He's my boy. Okay. That wraps up Volume 1. Thank you for joining us. A little bit of a rough start as far as podcasting goes, but an excellent start as far as the actual content goes.
Yeah.
Join us next time for future volumes.
Or volleyball boys.
Or volleyball pretty boys.